This message is intended to be an introduction to the next section of the Building Blocks program that we'll be discussing over the next few weeks in anticipation of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Sukkot. In looking at the various building blocks that comprise the ideal, vibrant Jewish community, we saw that there's a very interesting overlay or interplay between two of them, particularly as regards Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Sukkot. One of the building blocks we covered last year is the building block known as Avoda, which is service or worship or devotion. And this, of course, refers to davening, to praying, to turning to God and actually talking to Him and offering our hearts to Him in devotion. This is a very predictable and understandable theme when we look at Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Sukkot. We spend a lot of time during the Yomim Noraim, the high holidays, these special days, relating to Hashem through tefillah. A lot of time in shul, thick machzor, lots of words, confession, and then of course on Sukkot we have the Hoshanos, which are prayers for salvation, which culminate on Hoshana Rabbah, the last day of Sukkot before Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah, which are all about the power of the mouth to turn to God and ask for His salvation and for His intercession on our behalf. So, Avoda is clearly a very important dimension of our preparation for Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. But there's another theme of the Yomim Noraim and the month of Tishrei, which we're preparing for during the month of Elul. Another theme altogether, which has to do really with Mashiach. It's an amazing thing if you look at it. The central tefillah on Rosh Hashanah is Aleinu, in which we ask the Almighty to bring a world where everybody knows about His dominion. Yakiru v'yedu kol yoshvei sevel ki l'chatich rak haberach. All inhabitants of the world should know and recognize that all knees should be bent to you. So we daven for the full recognition of God as sovereign, and that is really davening for the Messianic era for Mashiach, who will represent in human form the royalty of God. So Rosh Hashanah is clearly a Yom Tov where we celebrate and pray for, daven for, the coming of Mashiach. Yom Kippur actually is that too. We spend a lot of time on Yom Kippur recalling and looking forward to the Avoda, the actual service in the Beis HaMikdash, which was a moment of great intimacy when the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, would enter Lifnai v'Lifnim, into the Holy of Holies, in order to gain atonement, closeness, total repair of the relationship between God and the Jewish people. That can only happen in the Beis HaMikdash, and that really is a messianic concept, and we actually daven for that every single day, 3 times a day, particularly in Ritzei, where we say, V'hashev es ha'avodah, restore the service, lidvir v'secha, to the special edifice of God's holiness, and many understand that to mean the actual Holy of Holies on Yom Kippur. Of course, Sukkot, major dimensions of the international span that the Messianic era will have, where the entire world will understand that the Jewish people is involved in a covenant with Hashem. And there are many themes on Sukkot, including the Haftarahs, that have to do with the coming of the Mashiach. So as we prepare to offer ourselves in avoda, in service, in worship, in tefillah to HaKadosh Baruch Hu on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot, we're also actually preparing ourselves to get into a mindset of Mashiach and to yearn for that period of time. Now, what's important for us to realize is that there's a dramatic difference between the consciousness of a Jew who is fully observant and devoted to serving God, who is not aware of Mashiach, and the consciousness of a Jew who is aware of Mashiach. Because the latter is someone who doesn't see himself as an individual serving God. He sees himself as a member of a nation with a mission. And that's what the messianic ideal and what the principle of faith that the Rambam lists as Mashiach does to the consciousness of a Jew. It transforms us into people who are part of a movement to accomplish something over time, over history, for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So in this building block that we're going to be looking at in the next few weeks, Avoda and Mashiach, two different and seemingly unrelated topics, we're going to examine how the interplay between the two really provides the context for us to be ready for Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot.